Hello there, Mr. RJL. How are you doing? I'm not sure why this thing is not. There's something on this setting that's not there that should be there, and I don't know why it's not there. Let me try something here. Maybe I can do it that way and do it that way. There we go. Now we're back on place. All right. This game, I was going to do Oakland and Seattle, but after talking to ID Jester last night, he was very gracious and helped me understand some of the fielding and a couple of idiosyncrasies that I wasn't sure about. He was very understanding about that and gracious about that. And so I thought, since I had the 1989 season, that I would play this as a sort of a tribute game. I didn't know Don Gullett passed away. I did not see that, Brian. Sorry to hear that. But I decided to play this as a semi-tribute game to RJL. I'm not RJL to ID Jester, because when he did his inside pitch, his only full season replay, it was the Bo Jackson replay, 1989 Kansas City Royals. So I thought I would bring out and do for ID Jester the Kansas City Royals game. I went back and watched some of his game from inside pitch on the PC, and the Royals won that game 4-1. So we're going to see if we can get ID a win in this one. And of course, his favorite all-time pitcher, Mark Gubicza, otherwise known as Mark Gubicza, is on the mound for the Kansas City Royals against Jimmy Key for the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm currently, as you see, I'm trying to shuffle these fast action cards as best I can. Gubicza. So, like I said, I was going to do Seattle and Oakland, but after talking to ID, and I know he had rather a saucy video from yesterday, I felt kind of guilty about that. So we're going to see if we can't try to do things a little bit better. Let me see if the focus, if I can prove that a little bit. Hopefully I can. All right, and hopefully I can remember the things that we talked about. Mainly, the main things he really helped me with were the 52, 53, and 51 rolls with defensive checks and what to do next. And I do have printed out. I am going to need these. I didn't think I would with the fast action cards, but really you're going to need the bases out charts to figure some of these things out. So I do have those printed out. Since we are at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City, I do have the Kansas City Royals colored dice. Of course, Toronto is pretty much the same color, so they're not really getting too much of an advantage there, I don't believe. But we'll go with it. So, ID did have a few interesting things, and I may pick them up later on. Right now, I want to play it by the book because I'm just learning the game still, and I don't want to do any tweaks to anything until I've gotten really what I feel is proficient with the game. So one of the things I liked he did was the home pitcher, you take one away from the bullpen role, so he has a better chance of falling under the A category as opposed to maybe the C category, where and his thought being that the home pitcher is used to the mound and all that sort of stuff. It's kind of a neat little concept, but since I'm learning, I'm going to keep it by the book. And then also, he had one where if it's an error check or a range check that's made, the play is only to first. I'm going to go with whatever the chart says because, like I said, I'm going to play it by the book as best I can. And if I keep playing this game over and over and over, and I like it a lot to keep playing it, then I may incorporate some ideas. But right now, I'm just going to try to play it as is. So Brian B, RJL, glad to see, and Clinton Parks has made it in here. Clinton Parks, how about the ID is here? All right, ID. I was telling him this is a tribute to you as a thank you for your assistance last night in going through some of the rules. So I figured I went back and watched your first game of the inside pitch Bo Jackson replay, and I said, why not play this game instead of the Oakland-Seattle game? So your favorite, Mark Gubicza, is on the mound, and of course against Jimmy Key. And I went back, and Kansas City actually won this game in your replay 4-1. So we're going to see if history can repeat itself. All right. We're going to go ahead and do the bullpen sessions. first for Mark Gubicza. We'll see what he does. Gubicza, a 3. How about that? Didn't it figure that the karma from ID Jester would have to make Gubicza an A pitcher? I mean, could it have happened any other way? I mean, it just couldn't, right? It just had to happen. Now, let's see if Jimmy Key turns to his C grades. There it is, right on cue. He's got an 18. He's on his C grades. You can't stop ID. You can only hope to contain him. So anyway, so Gubicza's under his A grades. And hello, Tony. How you doing? Yes, indeed. That's one of the things I went over with ID about re-rolling that KD, because if you don't re-roll it, then some of the lower error guys never get an error. So that was one of the things we talked about. So definitely going to be doing that. All right, so you see the starting lineups for both teams and the bullpens and benches and all that stuff. So without further ado, let's get going. Got the fast action cards right here. Let me push it up a little further. Make sure you can see the dice tray. Maybe I need to move this over just a touch so you can make sure the dice show up in the tray. Okay. I think they do. All right. Let me push these up just a hair so that the fast action cards, when I flip them, will be right here, and you'll be able to see them as I flip them. Hello, Jeremy. How you doing? Hello, another replay guy. Nice to see you here. Thank you for spending part of your Wednesday night with me. All right, again, this is for ID. So far the karma is good because Gubicza, as he's properly pronounced, Gubicza, is under the A grades, and Jimmy Key is under the C grades. All right, so Lloyd Mosby's going to lead things off, and we get a 53, the very first check. And wouldn't you know it, you knew I was going to get tested. This is more ID Jester karma. We went over these things painstakingly in detail yesterday or last night. So you knew the first roll just had to be a 53, right? All right, so Gubicza's KD check is a 1 to 4. That's a 7. It fails. We don't keep the 7 because if you keep the 7, then it's a good chance that the error or whatever comes up, range check in this case on the 53, would automatically be made. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip the card. Let's see here. We're going to flip the card on a 53. It's a third base single plus to left field. So it's a range check on the third baseman, and that's Kevin Seitzer. Now, the only thing I didn't do for this game, because I was doing it in a hurry, was print out the defensive sheets for both teams. So I'm going to have to do manual checks. So we look at Kevin Seitzer in his card, and Kevin Seitzer at third base, his range is a 6. All right, his range is a 6. So we're going to re-roll this D20 and see if we get a 1 to 6. If we get a 1 to 6, he will make the play. Higher than 6, it's going to be a base hit for Lloyd Mosby. It's a 5. You just knew he was going to make that play for ID. The karma is just there. I don't know what to tell you. The play is made. Nice play by Seitzer. He gets up off the turf, throws the speedy Mosby out, and there's one away, and the game could not start it off any better for ID Jester, as far as I'm concerned. All right. Hello, Mike. Good to see you here. Coming over from ID's stream. So here's Rance Mullenix, third baseman. That's a 50. Boy, we're just getting, like I said, it's ID karma. We're hitting these 52s and 53s like they're nobody's business. 15 is well out of the KD range from Gubicza. So now we're going to check and see what the error check is. Oh, look at this. It's a left field exotic chart. Left field exotic chart. I just happened to have printed the exotic chart, which I didn't have one time before when I was playing that I needed. So this time I do have it. Left field exotic chart. Left field exotic chart, which is on this one it just talks about the outfield. Doesn't really say left field. This is outfield. So I'm hoping I'm doing this right. I'm going to re-roll the D20 and see what comes up. And we get a 15. So it says 5 or 15, dropped fly, batter safe at first, runner advances one base. Fast with only first base occupied takes third, average batter out at second, but nobody's on base, so it's just simply going to be a dropped fly ball by none other than Bo Jackson himself with that fly out to left field. Exotic error chart. So Bo Jackson was not very exotic on that play as he makes the error, and I hope I did that correctly. Can somebody tell me if I didn't? I checked the exotic error. It was a 15. The exotic error chart states in the outfield that 5 or 15 is a drop fly ball, batter safe at first. Nobody's on base, so there's no runners to worry about, but Rance Mullenix will be safe at first base. So Rance Mullenix is on the E7 from Bo Jackson. He better make this up later on with his offense is all I can say, ID, because he's letting you down right now. But it's a long way to go. But interestingly enough, oh, sorry about that, Tony. All right, I take that back. I got to see if it's an error. Okay. See if it's an error or not. All right. Good check. Good catch there, Tony. I think IDs. We didn't talk about exotic errors because I think he just said he skips those. So, all right. So we're going to see if it's an error or not. We rolled a 15 was what I rolled on the initial check. So Bo Jackson's error rating is only a 10. So the 15 is higher than the 10. So that means there's no error and Bo Jackson makes the catch. I'm assuming that's the way it's played. Because my original roll when I was checking exotic error by mistake was a 15, and Bo Jackson's error is a 10. So to me, that means Bo Jackson makes the catch. Tony, hopefully that's the corrected way to do it. So hopefully that's correct because I kept the roll when I was checking the exotic error, which was a 15. Bo Jackson is a 10, so it will not be an error, which means we don't go to the exotic error chart, and Bo Jackson makes the catch. Okay, so Tony is saying that's correct. All right, so I don't see any reason to re-roll because that roll was good. I wasn't supposed to go to the exotic error check, so I don't feel like that roll was that die was used. So as long as the die is not used, I will keep it. So instead of Bo Jackson making an error, the karma from ID is going to make him make the play for out number 2. 2 out space is empty. Like I said, I'm still learning, so it's not going to be smooth sailing all the time. But ID, I need to ask you. But ID, we don't go to the exotic error chart, so you got to check and see if it's an error first. So the 15 was not used for the exotic error chart because we never went there. That's the rationale behind that. But ID, I need your permission to not roll a 51, 52, or 53 right now because the first 2 rolls have been that. $35. Okay, 35 for Tony Fernandez is blank. Gubicza is out, and the out is a fly out to left field. And who catches it? None other than Bo Jackson. I'm telling you, the karma is incredible. And at the end of half inning to play, it's Toronto nothing, and KC coming to bat. And a wild first inning that had a little bit of clarification needed, but hopefully we got it straightened out now. All right. Like I said, one of my goals in 2024 was to learn 2 games. This is one of them. I will be learning another game later. And the other goal was to have fun. So I'm not going to, I want to play the games correctly, but I'm not going to be, anal about idiosyncrasies and rules. I'm just going to play to have fun. And if I do it wrong and it's just a little tweak, I'm not going to worry about it. If it's a major error, I'll worry about it. But if it's just something could go either way, which ID was talking about this game, there's many ways to skin a cat, as they say in this game. So, all right, here's Willie Wilson against Jimmy Key. 62. 62 is blank. Jimmy Key, 62, even on the C grade, is an out. And that out is going to be a ground ball to second. So, second baseman on this one is Manny Lee, and he will make the play on Willie Wilson for 1 away. And that will send us to Kevin Seitzer, third baseman. He made a nice defensive play in the top of the first. Right? 33 doubles. That's a single for Kevin Seitzer. So just like Appa, doubles are usually good in this game. least high doubles anyway. So Kevin Seitzer is aboard. There is no plus sign by the 33, and I am using automatic steal, so I'm not going to steal. Kevin Seitzer is just going to stay there for now. Tabby is not up here right now. Only Gracie the dog is up here. Tabby wanted to take a nap, so I let her. I didn't want to disturb her. I let her stay down there. All right, less feline delays, the better. Here's George Brett. 36 for Brett, and that's going to be a single. Would have been an out on an A or a B, but since he's a C, it's a single. How about that? More karma coming. And on the base hit, it's a base hit to center field. First to third advances on a weak arm in center field. The center fielder in this case, and I wish I had printed off the defensive charts, but I didn't. So the center fielder in this case is Lloyd Mosby. His arm is average. It's not weak. So since it's not a weak arm and there are not two outs, the runner will only get second base. So Seitzer has to hold at second, first and second, and only one out. And Danny Tartable, the batter, would go on to play for the Yankees in a few years. Key, 13, and that is a strikeout on a 1-9. That's a 4. So Danny Tartable is out on strikes. Out on strikes is Tartable for out number 2. It's going to be up to the designated hitter Pat Tabler to get it done. 32 for Tabler is blank. Up here, it's an out on Jimmy Key's card. So he gets out of the inning, and it's going to be with a right-handed batter. It's a ground ball to third. Runners at first and second. Batter's out 5-3 according to that. So it's just a 5-3 ground out as Mullins throws to first. So the Royals threaten but don't score. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. At the end of 1 complete from Kauffman Stadium, we've got no score between the Jays and the Royals. So will there be more ID Jester karma is the question. All right, so coming up, you see who the next leadoff man will be for Kansas City. It is Mr. Bo. He will lead off the second inning. But right now, it is the Blue Jays at bat. And it's going to be Tony Fernandez. And we'll clear the old fast action cards out of the way. Make a clean slate. And we've got Tony Fernandez. Gubicza, 56. Blank here. Gubicza, 56 is a strikeout. And to pay a little homage to Kurt Berglund, that was the cauliflower medley, right? Something cauliflower medley. So that's 1 away. I don't remember the exact quote, but it's something to do with cauliflower medley. George Bell, 45. That's going to be a straight up out on Bell's card. And it's going to be a ground ball to third base. So ground ball to third. Seitzer puts it away. Actually, did I screw that up? You know what? I screwed up that at bat. Let me redo that. I forgot to change the lineups. It was actually the first at bat of the inning should have been George Bell, not Tony Fernandez. And so since I forgot what I rolled, we're going to re-roll. Actually, no, we don't have to because the strikeout was on Gubicza's card. So Bell strikes out. I'll keep that at bat because that wouldn't have mattered. But Fred McGriff is now your batter. So ID's got me all flustered here with all this karma going on. So I need to get straight here. Broccoli and cauliflower. Thank you. Broccoli and cauliflower medley. All right, here's the crime dog, Fred McGriff. So they tried to bat out of turn, but Gubicza would have struck him out anyway because it was a strikeout on the card. 45, and that's going to be an out G. Now, it says out G, which I think is supposed to override the fast action cards. I think we talked about that ID last night. The D20 is a 3. So looking at my out chart with the bases empty and a 3, it's a ground ball to first. First baseman unassisted. Draw a fact. Yeah, I still draw a fact, okay? I'm going to draw a fact. It's a ground ball to third, according to this. So it's going to ground it to third. rather than to first. So Seitzer will make the play for out number 2. Okay, there we go. It's ground out, keep it. Suppose it had been a fly out, then what? Then you change it to whatever's on the defensive chart. Is that correct? If I'd drawn like a F7, then I'd go look at the defensive chart and change it to whatever the D20 was. All right. Here's Jesse Barfield. 12, that's a straight up K. I don't have to change anything on that. That's a straight up strikeout. More broccoli and cauliflower medley. And another 3 up and 3 down for Gubicza. If Gubicza pitches a no-hitter in this game, I think I might just retire. Because it would be too much for me. I know it's not going to happen, but the thought was there. All right. So the Blue Jays are retired here in the second. And look who's going to lead off for the Royals, Mr. Bo Jackson. Mr. Bo knows. In fact, I'm going to put him center stage so he's easy to see. Mr. Bo knows. Against Jimmy Key, 22. It's a single. It's not a. I'm sorry, 22 over here is a single 1 to 8. That's a 12, which means it's actually going to be a walk. So they were so scared of Bo, they don't want to give him a good pitch, so they walk him, and they just don't want to. They just don't want to face Bo. That's all there is to it. So they walk him. Jimmy Key says, "I don't want any part of you," and that'll bring up Bob Boone. 54. We go to that dreaded 54 chart. Since the 54 charts already face up here, I'm going to move this card out of the way and take whatever's here. So we go to the 54 chart with a runner on base, and it's a wild pitch or pass ball. Pitcher's wild pitch rating, if it's 11, falls within the range, runners advance. Jimmy Key's wild pitch rating is only a 10, so it will not be a wild pitch, simply will be ball 1. So Jimmy Key avoids that. Yes, Mr. Gardner, this is live. Yes. It's not Memorex. All right, Key will deliver again, 34. Blank to Boone, 34 is a single off Jimmy Key. Off that, well, he'd have had a single either way, and the fast action card single says, base hit to right, but runners from first will hold. Even Bo Jackson, even with the good speed, will not test Jesse Barfield's arm, apparently. But Bob Boone gets himself a single. And how about this? The Royals, first 2 are on, 2 on, nobody out here in the bottom of the second, no score, but they are threatening. And the venerable Frank White is your batter. They got Jimmy Key on the ropes. 45, blank here, out here. What is the out? The out is with a right-handed batter, it's a ground ball to third, runs at first and second. It says it's only a 5-3 ground out, so the only play he had was to go to first, and the runners will advance to second and third. So how about that? It's a 5-3 ground out. The only play for Mullenix was to first. Runners advance. It acts like a sacrifice, and that'll bring up Kurt Stillwell Angel. And the infield for the Jays they're going to play in. They don't want to give up a cheap run. They're going to play in. 13 is an out. The out will be a ground ball back to the pitcher, so this will be interesting. It says here, though, refer to white die from the original roll. It's not a 1, so the runners are not going to advance. Let's see what it says. A ground ball back to the pitcher, second and third. Runners hold. Batter out. Fast runner advances. Bo Jackson is a fast runner. So even with the infield in, since he is a fast runner, it says it right here, fast runner advances. So Bo Jackson, hello Joe, how you doing? So fast Bo Jackson will break to the plate and score it, surprising Jimmy Key. And Key doesn't know what Boone will stand pat, but it's going to be an RBI ground out, 1-3. Bo Jackson will score. And who else was going to score the first run of the game but Bo Jackson? I mean, really, with ID Jester and his karma going on, they couldn't have been anybody else. So runner on second, 2 down now for Mr. Willie Wilson, who grounded to second his first chance. 54. Boy, we're on that 54 chart again with the runners on base. It says here, men on base, Wilder chart. So we go to the Wilder chart. Now, on the Wilder chart, do you use the same card or do you go to the next card for the Wilder chart? 'Cause I'm not really sure on that. I'm not even sure if it matters, but I'm assuming you just go down the list and use the same card. I'm assuming that's what you would do instead of flipping a new one. But if I'm supposed to flip a new one, I would do it. Hey, Gracie. So I'm not sure. Always the next one. Okay. So we put that card away and we look at the next one. The next one on the Wilder chart with men on base. If the lead runner is fast, then it's a balk. A runner, then it's a balk if D20 is 20. If not, re-roll. No balk on a slow runner. Well, Bob Boone, I believe, is a slow runner. Yep, he's a slow runner, so there is no balk. So we just keep going. According to this, we will keep going. So we re-roll, ball one. Willie Wilson still at bat. Boone was not fast, so it did not cause Jimmy Key to balk. 36 for Willie Wilson is going to be a single off of Jimmy Key. Boy, that C grade is killing him. Single. Runner on second, weak arm advances. Average or strong arm is a risk. Second to home on a base hit to right. Barfield's arm. Let's check Barfield's arm. Barfield is an average arm, so that means you got to challenge it. You got to risk it. You got to risk it. Hold on, Gracie's making noises over here for me. Come here. I'm not sure why she's doing that, but... I know why you're doing it. Okay. Okay. All right. Where was I here? Okay, so we got a challenge. Since he has an average arm, we have to run with risk. So the assist rating, or it's the average arm, so I believe on a run with risk, if I'm not mistaken, on an average arm, I believe that's the 1 to 3, is it not? So let me double check it. Run with risk. Average arm is a 1 to 3 is out, according to I'm looking at this chart right here. Run with risk. Roll D6 if risking it. Strong arm, runner out 1 to 5. Average arm 1 to 3. He's got an average arm. So 1 to 3, and he is going to be out. He is out. So Bob Boone is thrown out at the plate to end the inning. So even with 2 outs, Boone's so slow, he couldn't get it done. Wilson does get credit for the base hit, but Boone is going to be out, and that play is going to go 9-2 as Barfield throws him out. Kansas City picks up a run. They do it on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the second. It is 1-0 favor of the Royals. And they have given Mark Gubicza a lead to protect. All right. Ernie Witt is your batter. Ernie Witt is the batter. And I don't have the... Let's move this out of the way. Make myself some more room up here so I can see what's going on. Okay. Actually, you're right, Tony. I probably should. Well, with 2 outs, I kind of wanted to send him anyway. He just didn't score. But you're right. I didn't have to send him because it wasn't an assist check. It was a risk check. You're right about that. But if he makes it, then I look smart. But he didn't make it. So what are you going to do? All right, here's Ernie Witt against Gubicza. 14 for Witt is an out. And that will be a ground ball to short. So Stillwell Angel makes the play on that. 1 down. Witt is retired. Brings up Nelson Liriano. Whoops, the D20 didn't go through, so let's redo that. 45 for Liriano is blank. Out G, so it's going to be a ground ball. If the card is a fly ball, it's still going to be a ground ball. It's a ground ball to short, so ground ball to short. Stillwell does it again. 2 down. And that brings up Manny Lee. 16 is a strikeout, straight up strikeout. Gubicza with the K, and that is 9 in a row retired by Gubicza to start the game. Not to jinx him or anything, but with the karma of ID Jester in the house, you never know what might happen. So we go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0 favor of Kansas City. And leading things off will be Mr. Kevin Seitzer. He singled his first time up against Jimmy Key. 41 on Seitzer is a blank. A 1-6 is a walk. That's an 18, though, so he will be out. So Seitzer is going to ground it to short. 1 away. And I'm still working on my setup and everything, so it's not exactly perfect, but it's a work in progress. Here's George Brett. 61 is a blank. 61 is a strikeout on Jimmy Key's card. So Brett is out on strikes. 2 down. Maybe Jimmy Key is starting to settle in a bit. Here's Danny Tartable. 31 is a blank, but that's going to be a single off the pitcher card. So Danny Tartable gets a 2-out single. And he's not going to go anywhere, obviously. No, there was no plus sign there, so this is just a regular stand pat for Pat Tabler. 62 is a blank. 62 is an out, and the type of out is going to be a ground ball to third. Runner at first. It's a 5-4-3 double play, but there's already 2 outs, so I'm going to say it's a 5-4 fielder's choice to end the inning. No runs a hit, no errors, and a man left. At the end of 3, still 1-0 in favor of Kansas City. That 1 run is so far has held up thanks to the wonderful pitching of Mark Gubicza. And look who's going to lead off next inning. All right. Top of the 4th. And it's Lloyd Mosby, top of the order. 34 is a blank. 34 is an out on Gubicza. It would have been a single on his B or C grade, but since he's an A grade, that's an out. And it's going to be a fly to right field. Tartable puts it away, 1 down. And that'll bring up Rance Mullenix. 62. 62 is a strikeout from Gubicza. More cauliflower broccoli medley, or broccoli cauliflower medley, as they say. And there's 2 away. And that'll bring up Tony Fernandez, switch hitter. 22, and that's an out as well. Even though it's a double, it's a low double. So the out is a ground ball to short. And Gubicza has done it again. 12 in a row to start the game. Nothing doing for the Jays. It's still 1-0. Toronto actually won this game in real life 4-3. But Gubicza says, we got other plans tonight. So we go to the bottom of the 4th. And Mr. Bo is going to lead things off. He singled his first time. Actually, he walked his first time up and scored the only run of the game. 41 is a PX. So that one I'm not sure of. PX. PX. Can somebody help me with the PX? Because that one off the top of my head I don't remember. I I guess it's to the pitcher for a double play. Is that what that is? I'm not sure what the PX means. I don't have that in front of me, so not sure. On 41 on the pitcher card is a walk 1-6. That's a 3, so it would be a walk. Okay, so it's not an out. It's actually a walk because on Keys 41, it's a walk on a 1-6, and that's a 3. So to me, Bo Jackson walks again. So Bo Jackson walks again. How about that? Again, they do not want to face him. They're just scared. What can you say? They're scared of Bo. So they don't want to deal with it. All right. So Bob Boone, the batter, he singled his first time up. 54. We go to that 54 chart. So we take the top card and move that away and use this one. With the bases, with men on base, it's a wild pitch check. If it's an 8, it's a wild pitch. He's a 10, so it will be a wild pitch. First time it wasn't, this time it is. So it's a wild pitch. It's going to move Bo Jackson to second base. Takes away the double play, and we'll reboot. 11. That's going to be a walk to Bob Boone. So runners at first and second. Again, same way it was in the second inning. And Frank White is your batter. Frank White is the batter. Frank White. Hey, Craig, how you doing? 23 for Frank White is a straight-up strikeout. So Frank White out on strikes. 1 down for Kurt Stillwell Angel. As Key tries to get out of this. Hello, Larry Harris. How are you? Key 25. That's a straight up out on Stillwell's card. It is a ground ball to short with runners at first and second. Runners advance. Slow runner is out at second, 6-4. Boone's a slow runner. He's going to be out 6-4. So it's actually going to be a fielder's choice on this case. And Stillwell will make it to first. And I got to take care of Gracie. She's got something going on over here. I don't know what it is yet. She might need to go outside. I'm not sure. So 1 second, folks. I need to take care of some business, and I will be right back. Okay, apologize for the delay. All right, so we left off with the fielder's choice because of the fact that Bob Boone was slow. So that's why I got thrown out at second. Instead of a runner advance, it's a fielder's choice. So Stillwell is out, or safe rather, but Boone is out for out number 2. And that'll send up Willie Wilson. Singled his last time up. Runners are at the corners. 2 down. 21, and that's going to be a strikeout on Willie Wilson, so he is out of there to end the inning. Royals go down, leaving runners on base. Nothing doing for Kansas City in the fourth. For the Royals in that inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, but 2 left thanks to walks. And we go to the fifth, still 1-0. Favor of Kansas City. And George Bell leading things off against Gubicza. 36 for George Bell is a blank on Gubicza. 36 is an out with a G. Let's see if it's a ground out or not. This says pop out, but it also says refer to the white die, which is a 6. It says a pop out to short, but since it's a G and he's a right-handed hitter, I'm assuming it's a ground ball to short. That's what I'm thinking of. So that's going to be a 6-3 ground out as far as I can tell. Since it was an out G, it has to be a ground out, not a pop out. Not that it matters because nobody's on base and nothing's going on. So it's just a regular old out in this instance. And that'll bring up the crime dog, Fred McGriff. McGriff grounded to third his first time up. 13, and that's going to be a walk on a 1-11, and that's a 10. So first base runner of the game for Toronto will be Fred McGriff via a base on balls. On that 1-11, that's a 10. So base on balls to Mr. McGriff, and that'll bring up Barfield. 36 is a straight up out right there on his card. 36 is an out. It would have been an out G on Gubicza, but we'll see what the regular out is here. It's a line out to second. White die says line out to short, so we'll call it line out to short. 2 down. The only way it would have been doubled off is if the white die had been a 4. It would have been a line out to second, which would have been a double play. But since it went to short, it's just a line out for out number 2. So it's down to Ernie Witt. Gubicza 15 to Witt is an out. And it will be a fly out to right field, put away by Tartable to end the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Still 1-0 Kansas City. As Mark Gubicza is dealing. Bottom of the fifth we go. And for Kansas City, it'll be Kevin Seitzer to lead things off. Seitzer, 1 for 2, single in the first and grounded to short in the third. 66 for Seitzer. 1 is a triple, 2 to 9 is a double. That's a 7. Kevin Seitzer cracks a double. A leadoff double for Kevin Seitzer. A leadoff double for Kevin Seitzer. He's now 2 for 3 in the ball game. And again, they have Jimmy Key on the ropes. Here's George Brett. 62, and that's going to be an out on Jimmy Key's card. That's a fly to center, and when runner on second has to hold. So not deep enough. 1 away. And that'll bring up Danny Tartable. Larry, he does Gubicza. All right, here's Jimmy Key with the 33 for Tartable. That's a straight-up single. Can the runner score? Seitzer. Base hit to left. Second to home scores. Let's see. Second to home scores. Fast first to third. I don't know what that means because second he scores. So it's just the runner on second will score. That's just what it says. So 2 to 8 scores. So Seitzer will score it on the base hit by Danny Tartable. And the Kansas City Royals take a 2-0 lead. Tartable now 2 for 3. RBI single. And they got Jimmy Key definitely on the ropes. Toronto might get the bullpen going. In fact, I know they will. They're going to use. They're going to have a lefty in the pen. David Wells, the left-hander, is loosening in their pen. All right, here is Pat Tabler. 12 is an out. The out is a fly out to center field for out number 2. So 2 down, and here comes Bo. I think this is the first time he is not leading off an inning. He led off the second with a walk, led off with the fourth with a walk, but now he's batting with 2 outs and a runner on. 33 for Bo. Those doubles are right there. The Karma's right there to give him doubles. It's a single. Tartable, can he make it to third? Single first to third, hold if 1 out assists, but there's not 1 out, there are 2 outs. So Tartable will have to hold on the base hit to center field as Bo Jackson has reached again. First hit, he walked twice, but now he's got a base hit, so he's had a perfect night. And that'll bring up Bob Boone. 51. Okay, that's a 17, so no strikeout, of course. And we'll see what the check is on 51. It's an exotic error chart, but first we got to see if it's an error on the second baseman. Second baseman is Lee, and Lee, his error rating at second base is only a 3. So this has to be a 3 in order for this to be an error. 3 or less, I should say. 16, he makes the play, and with 2 outs, it really doesn't matter where the throw goes. I'm going to say it goes to first because it just doesn't matter. But what does matter is Kansas City gets a run. They do it on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left on base. We played 5 here at KC's Kauffman Stadium, and it's the Royals 2 and the Blue Jays nothing. We go to the top of the 6th. Top of the 6th. And let's see, Frank White's going to be the leadoff hitter next for the Royals. But coming up for the Blue Jays is Nelson Liriano. Marlon, I've only played the game so far with the fast action cards. The charts look okay. If I wasn't streaming, I might play it with the charts. But streaming, I think the fast action cards obviously fit better on where I can show. I mean, I'd have to constantly be putting the charts in back and forth and be a pain. Hello, Bruce. How you doing? All right, here is Nelson Liriano. 64. 64 on Gubicza is an out with a G. That's a fly out to left, but it's going to be a ground out. And since he's a switch hitter batting left, it's a ground out to second base. So 1 away. Obviously, Gubicza, a ground ball pitcher. He's got several out Gs on his card. And Liriano is retired. Here's Manny Lee. 42 for Manny Lee. 42 is another out. And that's going to be a fly to right, put away by Tartable. 2 down for Lloyd Mosby. 46, that's the ballpark card. First time going to Kauffman Stadium on the ballpark card. That's a 13. Mosby's a lefty. 13 lefty is a foul ball. Try again. So 14 or to 16 would have been a foul out, but this is a foul ball that made it to the seats. So Mosby will get to swing again. 26, that's the left-right split, and what you know what? That breaks up the no-hitter. The karma of breaking up the no-hitter is done by a lefty-righty split on a game that, in my opinion, when I first saw it, didn't have enough left-right splits, and so this must be reverse karma or something. I don't know, but it's the left-right split that breaks up the no-hitter, and the Royal fans give a standing ovation to Mark Gubicza for his efforts as he goes 5 2/3 innings of no-hit ball until that left-right split comes up. Now, there is a plus sign there, so let's see if Mosby might want to try to steal. He's a 15 catcher arm for the Royals. Bob Boone, he has a strong arm. So a strong arm, I believe, is a minus, I want to say it's a -1 or is it a -2? Let me double check it. Check the sheet here for stolen bases. Let's see, strong arm. Where'd you go? Strong arm. -2. No, that's the pitcher thing. Trying to find it. It's either 1 or 2. I can't remember which one is which. Let's see here. Okay, roll a d20, see if it's a pickoff chance with a 1. Okay. There is no pickoff chance. Okay, so there's no pickoff. Now, the catcher has a strong arm, so is that a -1 or a -2? Trying to find this on here. Oh, decrease -2 according to what I'm looking at. So it's a -2. Oh, we roll a d6. I'm sorry, not a d20. Okay. It's not a 1, so we didn't have to worry about that. So, -2. So, Mosby is a 15, but -2 makes him a 13. And he makes it by barely with a 12. So, Mosby steals second base, gets himself into scoring position with 2 outs. Normally would not have run down 2-0, but I figured with 2 outs, they need somebody in scoring position where a base hit can score a run and have him get back in the game. So I thought it was a worthwhile gamble, and it did pay off. So here is Mullenix. 26 again. The left-right split strikes again. And that's going to score the run because left-right split base hits are automatic 2-base advances. So by stealing the base, that produced the run. So Mullenix, back-to-back left-right splits, does in Mark Gubicza to allow the run. And we got a 2-1 ball game all of a sudden. And here comes Tony Fernandez. Fernandez against Gubicza. 15 is an out. And it's going to be a ground out, referred to the original white die as a 5. It's a ground ball to third. And that's going to end the inning. But Toronto gets on the board. They do it on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. It's a tight game now, 2-1. Favor of the Royals, but the no-hitter is gone thanks to the left-right splits. Again, reverse karma biting me because when I was complaining about the left-right splits in the game, you knew it had to happen. Hello, Jimmy Jam. How are you? I'm still learning it myself, Jimmy Jam, so learn along with me if you like. I learned by watching the other people play videos, Tony and Anthony and Kurt Berglund and ID, and 8 or 9 games are on there from RJL. So there's lots of guys you can watch, and I just tried to learn as much as I could from watching it on video, and then once I bought the game, I looked up the rules and kind of read the rules, and even doing all that, you still got things you're going to miss. It's just inevitable. So here's Frank White against Jimmy Key, 24, hit by pitch on a 1-3, but he's not hit by the pitch. It's going to be a ground out to the pitcher, and there's 1 away. Jimmy Key makes the play on Frank White, and here comes Kurt Stillwell Angel. He's 0 for 2. 26, left-right split again. It's a single because he's a switch hitter. He gets that hit every time. And that's the 3rd time this inning it's come up. Twice in the top half and once here in the bottom half. Hadn't come up all game, but it's come up in the last couple of rolls. And that left-right split did it. Here's Willie Wilson. 43, and that's a blank there. 43 is an out on Jimmy Key. And it will be a ground ball to second. I'm sorry, to short because he's a switch hitter batting right. With a runner at first, it's a double play, but a weak arm shortstop only gets the fielder's choice. So let's see if Tony Fernandez, he's probably not a weak arm shortstop, but you never know. They're saying he's an average arm. It's got an A there. So it will be a double play. 6-4-3, and that's going to end the inning very quickly. So Tony Fernandez helps to turn that double play along with Manny Lee and wipes everything out. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left. 6 innings are in the books. It's 2-1 Royals. But we got a nip and tuck game going on as Jimmy Key has settled in. Now Jimmy Key can face 30 batters. Gubicza can face 32. Key has faced 28, so Key may be done, especially with some righties coming up. So I think Jimmy Key is going to be lifted, and that will be all for Jimmy Key. And the Blue Jays will go to a righty out of the pen. They will go to Dwayne Ward. So in the bottom of the seventh, Dwayne Ward will be coming on. We'll have to roll his bullpen session, see how it turns out. But right now, it is George Bell. Gubicza has faced just 21 batters, so he's definitely in good shape. He can face 32. All right. Yes, please watch Tony's Dice Baseball Digest videos, Jimmy, if you want to learn some stuff on Fall Classic. He's like the guru of Fall Classic, so definitely check all his stuff out as far as tutorials and whatnot, or just watch him play the game, and you can pick it up from that as well. All right, here's George Bell. Whoops, just dropped the D20 out of the blue there. Butterfingers. Went under the table, and I tell you, when you're old, bending under the table gets harder and harder. So I'm back now without any too much damage to the knees. So George Bell, 31, and that's going to be a single on Gubicza. That 31 is usually a hit a lot of the times, I've noticed. So George Bell, clean single to start the seventh. And that'll bring up the dangerous Fred McGriff. .65, that's a home run chance. A home run chance, but Gubicza is only a 1. So there will be no home run. We'll see what the out's going to be. It's going to be a pop out to the catcher, but the white die is a 5, so it's actually a pop out to third according to this. So it's going to be 1 away. I made the earlier mistake on a failed home run to make it a fly out to center, but that's only on the ballpark card, not on the batter or pitcher interface. So there is now 1 away, and that will send up Jesse Barfield. Gubicza's got to settle down. 41, that's a blank. 41 is a walk on a 1-8, but that's a 12, so it will be an out. And it's going to be a ground ball to short, possible double play with a runner at first, though. Slow roller, runner advances, so it's a slow roller. No chance for the double play. Stillwell's only play is to first for out number 2, but Bell does advance. So the tying run is in scoring position for Ernie Witt. Ernie Witt, the catcher. 15, he is out. And it's going to be a ground ball to short. Stillwell makes the play to end the inning, and they strand Bell at second. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left. 7th inning stretch time here at Kauffman Stadium. And the score still remains Kansas City 2 and Toronto 1. And we have the new pitcher that's going to be coming on, but I'm going to stretch for a second. Since it is a 7th inning stretch, there will be no singing. I don't have a ukulele, so there's no threat of that. But I don't want to... If I try to sing, it might be an FCC violation, so I'm not going to do that. But I will stretch for a quick second as I get ready to roll Dwayne Ward's bullpen session. And it will be a 20. How about that? He's on C grade as well. So the karma of ID Jester, putting the hex on these Toronto pitchers, back-to-back C grade pitchers because of those rolls. All right, so Willie Wilson will lead things off for the Royals. Actually, no, it won't be. He hit into a double play last time. My bad. It's actually Kevin Seitzer that's going to lead off. He's 2 for 3. 23, 1-16 to strikeout, but that's a 20, so no strikeout, but he's going to be out anyway, and it's going to be a ground ball to short. So 1 away. And that brings up George Brett. 41 for Brett is a blank. 41 there is a walk I'm sorry, a wild pitch plus a walk. There's nobody on base for a wild pitch, but it will be a walk. So George Brett will draw the base on balls. And again, because, well, 41 for WAR would have been the same either way, but this, I'm sure the C grade didn't help him any. So it's a walk to Brett, and that'll bring up Danny Tartable. 62, and that's going to be a blank here. 62 is a strikeout. So Tartable down on strikes for out number 2. Brings up Pat Tabler. Oh, the white die didn't go through. Why am I having so much trouble rolling the dice in the tower all of a sudden? It seems like a strange occurrence to be happening. And now the white die is stuck somewhere. Somehow. Well, I tell you what. Issues all over the place. Let me get my backup D6. Hold on. Since that was sewer dice, I'm going to re-roll everything. I'm not going to keep this. I'm going to re-roll everything. All right, finally. 23 for Tabler. He is out. There are already 2 outs, so there's no double play to worry about, but he is an out. And it's going to be a ground ball back to the pitcher. And Ward will just throw to first to end the inning. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left. 7 innings in the books. It's still 2-1 KC. And Mr. Gubicza is hoping for more run support, but it hasn't worked out that way. Coming up for the Blue Jays will be Liriano, Lee, and Mosby to start the top of the 8th. Gubicza has faced 25 batters. He can face 32. But the bullpen for Kansas City is loosening. They do have Steve Bridge too far warming up in the bullpen, the right-hander. They kind of had a committee of bullpen guys. Farr and Montgomery were the co-closers in the game. Of course, I just noticed I misspelled Montgomery, but that's all right. You get the gist. He's there. Gubicza to Liriano, 51. That's a 20, so there's no strikeout. So the 51 is checking a error on the third baseman. Error on the third baseman. So the third baseman, Seitzer, let's look at his error rating. Seitzer's error rating at third. Seitzer's error rating at third is showing as a 6. So we're going to re-roll that D20. If it's a 1 to 6, we got an error. Anything else, he'll make the play. That's 12, so good play there by Kevin Seitzer. Handles the tough play and takes care of Mr. Liriano. 1 away. Here's Manny Lee. 25, that's an out. And it will be a line out to first. Refer to the white die if we want to, but I think that's a line out to third, or I can have it line out to first. He's a left-handed batter, so I'm going to keep the line out to first. Not that it matters. I'm not keeping defensive stats or anything like that. So 2 down, and that's going to bring it to Lloyd Mosby. He broke up the no-hitter back in the 6th and scored the only run of the game for Toronto. 63, and that's going to be a strikeout on a 1 to 16, but that's a 19, so no strikeout. But it will be a line out to left field to end the inning. So Gubicza, they're going to cap Gubicza, I think. He's gone 28 batters, and to be realistic, on opening day, the pitchers aren't stretched out quite as much as they are later in the season. So I think to be realistic, we're going to go ahead and pull Gubicza, and they're going to go actually now to Jeff Montgomery to try to close it. So Montgomery will be warming up in the bullpen for the Royals to come in and try to close it. He had 18 saves on the season. Right now, it is Dwayne Ward. He can face 10 batters in relief, and to this point, he has faced 4. So he's still okay. It's Jackson, Boone, and White, all right-handed hitters, so they're going to keep it with Dwayne Ward and not make any changes there. So Bo Jackson, who's been perfect on the days, walked twice and singled. 61. This time, maybe not. He's going to strike out. So Bo, they finally retire Bo with a strikeout, and it just happens that way. Forgot to put the Blue Jays next hitter in line. Mullenix will lead off the ninth inning. So here's Bob Boone. 16, and that's an out, and the out's going to be a fly out to center field. So 2 down for Frank White. Nip and tuck 2-1 game. 51, and that's a 7. Ward's KD, though, is only a 4, so no strikeout. We go to the 51 chart. It's an error check on the pitcher. Dwayne Ward's error rating is a 9. So if we get roll a 1 to 9, he will make the error on a 1 to 9, a one base error. He does not. It's a 20, so he will make the play, and the inning is over. So 3 up and 3 down go the Royals. You're in the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th, last chance for the Blue Jays, and they're going to do it against Jeff Montgomery, the closer. He will be in to face Mullenix, Fernandez, and Bell. Heart of the order, 2, 3, 4 in the order. So I don't see any reason to pinch it. Mullenix is a 238 hitter, so let me see who they might use off the bench. The only lefty they have is Rob Ducey, but he hit 211, so he's not going there. Kelly Gruber hit 290, but I mean, if you're managing like the manager would manage, I don't think Cito Gaston would bring in a righty to face a righty. I think he would stick with Mullenix, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to play it as if what I think the manager would do. Hello, Salvador. How are you doing? So first of all, bullpen session from Montgomery. That's a 14. He is on his B grades. All right, so Mullenix against Montgomery, 55, and that's a single for Mullenix. Not anything Montgomery could do about that. That was straight off the batter card with the doubles. So Mullenix will reach. Now the question is, they may pinch run for Mullenix. Mullenix speed, not all that great. Let's see who they got on the bench that might run better than Mullenix. There are real fast guys out there. Actually, Ducey's pretty fast. So they're going to pinch run for Mullenix with Rob A.C. Ducey. And Kelly Gruber would come into play third if the game goes to the bottom of the 9th. So Ducey is on to pinch run. Pinch runner is Ducey. No, I'm not going to use Ducey. What am I doing? He's slow. I'm not going to use him. I'm going to use Tom Lawless. He's fast. My bad. Tom Lawless will pinch run. He's fast. I was looking down here. I should have been looking up here at the letters up here. Lawless is considered fast, so Lawless will be the pinch runner. And he can actually play third if need be. So Lawless is your pinch runner. He will pinch run at first base for Mullenix. I don't have a little running thing for Lawless, though, because I didn't expect to use him. So it's still Mullenix, but, it's still Lawless, but even though Mullenix is standing there. So here's Fernandez, 64, and that's going to be a strikeout by Montgomery right off his card. One away, and that's going to send it to George Bell. One swing of the bat could be dangerous for Bell. A good thing on Montgomery, his home run's only a 1 to 4, so even if you roll a 65, it may not hurt him. It's a 45, and that's a straight up out. And the out's going to be a fly out to center for 2 down. So 1 out away from putting the game away, but you got the very dangerous Fred McGriff at the plate. Last chance for Toronto. 65. It's a home run chance, but he's a 1 to 4. That's a 15, so he is not going to hit the home run. Instead, he will pop it up to first base. Calling for it and making the play is George Brett, and your ball game is over. The Kansas City Royals, and wouldn't you know, they just had to do it for ID Jester. They get the victory 2-1, nip and tuck for the Blue Jays in the 9th. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 left. Royals are your winners, 2-1, and we'll get the totals real quickly. 2-1. There were no errors in the game for either team. Let me check the hits. Toronto didn't have many of them. They had 4 hits total. And they left on 1, 2, 3, 4 left on base. For Kansas City, they had 2, 4, 5, 8, 9 hits. I've got them for unofficially. And left on base 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 left on base. These are all unofficial because I'm kind of doing it in a hurry. But your final score, Kansas City 2, Toronto 1. And for the Royals, 2 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and 9 left. For the Blue Jays, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors, and 4 left. Winning pitcher was Mark Gubicza. Tough luck loser Jimmy Key and Jeff Montgomery registers the save for Mr. ID Jester. So thank you, Tony, for giving me some pointers while you were here. Thank you, ID, for doing the same. I really appreciate your time last night helping me out with some stuff. So the game seems to, it's the more I play it, the more it's coming to me. And I did not think when I saw this video or I saw this game played by other people a few years ago, I looked at it and I just said, I don't think it's for me. But the more I play it, the more I like it. And this fits one of my goals, which one of my 2 goals is to learn 2 new games this year. This is game 1. I'll be learning game 2 shortly, but this is game 1. I want to get this one a little bit, better than what I am right now. Although I thought I did a decent job. There's just some minor things I need to take care of. Okay, I'm on my own from now on. Thank you, ID. Well, at least they won the game for you. I think it was your karma that did it with Fred McGriff had the home run check, but of course Jeff Montgomery wasn't going to have any part of it. He said, "You're not hitting a home run off of me." And yes, Mr. Gardner, there was a video you talked about second chances. I am giving this game I never played it before, so it's my first time, but it's my second look at it. So, yeah, it's enjoyable. And like I said, one of my knocks on the game was lack of left-right splits, and lo and behold, I had 2 back-to-back that broke up the no-hitter. So I was hoping to get a no-hitter for you, ID, but the left-right splits had other ideas. But hey, they got the win. So Gubicza is 1-0 on the season. He wins opening day against a tough Toronto team, Jimmy Key. They were the NL East champs in '89. So Kansas City off to a very good start. And offensively, they put out 9 hits. Only 1 extra base hit. They had 8 singles and a double. That was it. 8 singles and a double. Kevin Seitzer had the double and a run scored. Bo Jackson was 1 for 2. 2 walks, a single, and a run scored. Let's see. Who else did they have here? Let's see. Trying to think of who else brought the runs in. Tartabull was 2 for 4 with an RBI. So no one person really did anything great offensively. So to me, since nobody did anything great offensively, to me, the star of the game is Mark Gubicza. Mark Gubicza gets the player of the game. He pitched 8 innings, gave up just 4 hits and a run, and was in complete control the entire game. Never a doubt, carried a no-hitter into the 6th, and gets the Royals off to a very, very good start. The Royals won ID Jester's game on inside pitch on the computer. Opening day, 4-1 in this exact same game. And so now they do it again here, 2-1, despite the fact that Toronto won the game in real life 4-3. So, ID, I know you were a little saucy on your video last night. Hopefully now that you're playing it back more regularly, people will be tuning in and checking your games out and doing all the things that need to be done. Hoping people enjoy me playing it as well. So, but I have one style, you have another style. So between the couple of styles, maybe people can glean things off of this and see if the game is really to their liking or not. So we each have different ways of doing things, but as we say, there's more than one way to get the job done. But hopefully that was entertaining. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, more often than not, 9 times out of 10, I record and upload. Very rarely do I do streams unless I'm doing like the game of the week on Saturdays. So, but I did enjoy it, and I did enjoy all the feedback that you guys gave me, particularly Tony and ID helping me out with the rules and whatnot. And so there you go. Second chances. There you go, right there. Now, there will be another game that I'm going to be learning as well between now and April when Stratomatic starts full and hard and heavy with the with a Stratomatic Game of the Week 1973 NBC Game of the Week. I will be doing a slow playthrough in March on Stratomatic Super Advanced to lead up to that. But between now and then, I'm going to be playing some Fall Classic and the other game that I won't mention right now, but I will be learning that one, a new game that I haven't played. But I want to learn it, and it looked fun by watching some of the videos, so I'm going to try it out, see how it goes, and hopefully add these 2 new games to my repertoire. And again, having fun was the third goal. So 3 goals in 2024: learn game 1, learn game 2, and have fun. So hopefully I'm trying to get those accomplished. And so far in February, we're off to a good start. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, and hopefully you enjoyed this presentation of Fall Classic Baseball. Like I said, I'm not perfect on it yet. Obviously, there's still little idiosyncrasies I'm learning, but each game I play, I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with it, and I can feel the flow of it better, and I'm remembering to check certain things. So just little idiosyncrasies I got to remember, like if it's an exotic error, I've got to check to see if it's a regular error before I go to the exotic error. Little twists and turns like that, and hopefully by playing it more and more, that will come second nature. And I won't even need to look at some of the charts. I can hopefully have them memorized like I do on some other games. So I know it's getting late, and it is a work night or work day tomorrow for most of us who work the Monday through Friday deal. So I know I'm going to, try to get some rest. But ID, this bud's for you, as the commercial would say. And your man, Mark Gubicza, did it. Took care of business. TCB and taking care of business. And the Royals 1-0, and I did input the game I played with the Cardinals and the Mets in Digital Diamond. I'm not going to do an 89 replay, but I figured I might as well put it in Digital Diamond just to see how it goes, because you never know. I might get the itch to do that, so I don't want to lose track of these stats. So I'm going to input this game later on in Digital Diamond. And it'll be very easy to score because it's only 2-1. There's not many changes as far as pitchers and stuff go, so it should be a pretty quick thing to put into Digital Diamond, which I love Digital Diamond because it's free. Once you buy it, you've got everything for free. And I love Replay PC, but those things are like $25 a season, and they don't even offer 89, so I didn't even have that option. So Digital Diamond is my only hope there. I could put it in Strat, I guess, but I try to keep Strat stuff separate. So Digital Diamond is my choice to enter the stats. And I don't know. That's about it. Tabby didn't want to join me today for some reason, so that's her choice. If she wanted to do something else, I don't know. But that's just what she wanted to do. So not going to force anything there. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure if you haven't watched it already, ID Jester played Game 2 of his Tampa Bay 2021 in Fall Classic just prior to this game here. So if you want to catch the replay, be sure to check over to ID Jester's channel and look up his Tampa Bay replay. And if you want to see him play older sessions of Fall Classic, he's got a 92 Pirates replay he was doing. He's got I believe let's see, what was the other one he had? I remember it was 92 Pirates. I don't remember the other one, but he's got some miscellaneous games in there as well. But plenty on his playlist. If you want to, just like you said, just go into YouTube and search under ID Jester Fall Classic, and you will find that he's been playing this game for 4 or 5 years, as I believe Tony has as well. 2016 Cleveland, thank you. So if you like 2016 Cleveland, you can check that out. If you like, an older season, then you can check out a 92 Pittsburgh Pirate replay. But he's played a lot of Fall Classic. Tony Porter has played a lot of Fall Classic from, these videos go back several years. So the game's fairly new, but not that new. And I will try ID. I'm just, like I said, plugging along game by game. My next video on Fall Classic is going to be the game I meant to play tonight, or I was going to play tonight originally. That's the opening night game in Oakland between Seattle and Oakland. Great pitching matchup, Mark Langston against Dave Stewart. So that'll be the next game I play on Fall Classic. So I'm not sure what day that's going to be, but we'll find out. I'm not sure if it's going to be uploaded or live stream. I haven't decided that either, but I don't have to worry. I don't have to make that decision right now. It'll just be whenever. But again, thank you guys for tuning in, spending part of your Wednesday night with me. Again, final score is 2-1 Kansas City, and the man of the hour, Mr. Mark Gubicza, otherwise known as Mark Gubicza, and we did it for ID. He helped me out in this game and spent part of his evening. He met with me for about a half hour in between two of his live streams. So I know he was juggling some stuff, so I do appreciate him taking the time to do that and straighten me out on a couple of things and give me some hints about things that I might want to do in the future with this game once I get comfortable as far as home brews and stuff like that. So definitely appreciate it, Mr. Jester. You're a good man, Charlie Brown. Thank you very much. And be sure also to check out RJL Network for Inside Pitch if you like the Inside Pitch game. He is your man for that. If you like Fall Classic, then you got Tony. He's your guru for that, along with ID. And if you like APA, there's always APA Brian. And if you like Strat a little bit better, then you can check out Utah Mike. He does some Stratomatic stuff. If you like hockey, Mr. Gardner is your Lord of the Rink. So whether it's Hockey Bones or APA or Hockey Blast or whatever, if you're into hockey, check out Mr. Gardner. He is the Lord of the Rink. And anybody else, if I've missed anybody else, I apologize. There is a gentleman named Jeffrey Guterman who plays a lot of Stratomatic, usually in the mornings, but he's always live streaming 1969. He's playing every single game of 1969. Which is incredible. He is retired, I guess that's why he has time to do it. But still, it's a big undertaking. But he's enjoyable to watch in the morning while I'm working. So he's another one to check out if you like Strat-O-Matic. Speaking of Stratomatic, I think Stratomatic opening day is coming up in a couple of days, probably on Friday or something. I'm not part of that, so I don't know. But for those folks up in New York, hope they have a good time. But until next time, I will depart and say, until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And as usual, I will see you all